Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and I didn't even realize that I had hit 400 million gold, and that's going to be important later on in the video. Now, I wasn't actually going to do a second video today because the patch note video did so well. Thank you guys for watching, and because I just wanted to give you guys a break from the ranting, but I spoke to a lot of people on Discord over the last few hours, and I watched people's reactions, and I saw there were sort of two camps of players emerging from this latest update, and I know the last two updates back to back have been quite controversial, and Warriors of the Sky was not without controversy as well for different reasons. So you know what, I wanted to I wanted to try and set the record straight on why I am jaded, why I'm disenchanted, why I don't seem as enthusiastic about Marvel Future Fight. But what you will realize if you listen to my voice is that I am actually quite enthusiastic about this because I'm still really passionate about the game. I'm just not passionate about what the devs are doing. But let me explain. So we got to sort of back up here. There's a lot of good things. There's a lot of good things about this new update. So there's going to be a group of players who are really happy because all of those things that they wanted are things that are happening. And a lot of you will also say, well, Cynicalex, you can't be upset with this update. You can't be unhappy because a lot of the things that you suggested are being implemented. Like you suggested being able to sell all of the ISOs that you wanted, like you can for cards, and they're doing that. And you asked for an ABX retry button, and they're doing that. And you asked for more squad battle rewards, and they're doing that. And I agree with you. You're right. Yes. I'm not happy that they chose my ideas. I'm happy that they chose ideas that the community wanted, because I'm not the only player in the world that wanted all of those things. I try to echo a lot of what I hear when I hear enough players saying it. When one player says it, you know, it's not... Daredevil needs to be the best character in the game. I would love to say that in a video, but it's just not true. So there's a lot of good things that this update brought, and also I'll list them out for you right now to show you that I don't actually hate this update, but there is more to it. It's a bit more complicated than I love the update or I hate the update. So legendary battle reward changes and legendary battle changes are amazing. Squad battle rewards are amazing. Shadowland chest improvements are good. Inventory improvements are okay. The free battle pass or the future pass and the $10 battle and the $10 future pass seem good. I mean, the free one is great. The $10 one is reasonable value, so that's good. The Black Widow Tier 3 and her rework with the uniform are also very good. The Danger Room improvements were a surprise, also very good. The World Boss Practice Mode is excellent, very, very good thing, quality of life thing that doesn't actually make them money, but does help the players out. And then the ABX retry button is really good. Now, what's the problem? Well, you watch me for many different reasons, maybe for my voice, maybe for the information, maybe for the laughs, maybe whatever, you know, for different reasons. But one of the reasons why you probably watch is because as someone who's played this game since it's launched, I have the perspective of being able to see sort of into the future. I'm not saying I'm a clairvoyant or I have ESPN or something like that, but you know, you see the trajectory of the game as it's going along, and so you can better anticipate. Once you have that and that familiarity, you can better anticipate what's coming. I made a video 8 months back about them taking away special missions because they hadn't introduced new special missions in years and they hadn't done anything for the special mission characters. A couple months later, boom, they're getting rid of special missions. So you're watching for that. You're watching for that sort of ability to anticipate what is coming next and sort of feel the tide and the winds and sort of guess where it's going to take us. Now here's the problem. At the end of 2017, I felt as though, and a lot of players agreed with me, some of them didn't, but I felt as though the Ultimates test and them trying to monetize characters through gacha mechanics was going down the wrong road and going in the wrong direction. I thought the wind was taking us to a very bad place. Now, some players could have sat there and said, it's just, Alex, it's just one update. It's just 3 characters, just Blue Marvel, Anti-Man, and Nova. Don't worry, they're not going to do it for future characters. You shouldn't panic now. Just, let them try something new and see what happens, right? It's not a big deal. But I felt as though it was a big deal, and I felt that it was too much of a departure, and it was just signaling too many things, especially because it came on the heels of the new CTPs that it had been introduced a couple of updates or one update before, right? CTP of Energy, CTP of Authority. Those updates, CTPs had just been introduced in previous updates. So I felt as though the game was going in the wrong direction, okay? That's what's happening now. I don't dislike this update, and I really like the House of X update in part, but the problem with the last 4 updates of this year, Warriors of the Sky, Hydra, this Hydra Supreme update, whatever you want to call it, House of X, and now the Black Widow movie. The problem with these 4 updates, and actually it goes back even further, is that the direction of the game is not going in a direction that I think is good for the players. So that is why I am consistently jaded, and I'm consistently less and less happy with the game, because it feels to me as though the game is trending into a direction and trending down a path that is not going to be fun for players long term, and is not going to be good for players long term, but it is going to be good for the pockets of Marvel Future Fight. So let me try and explain this a little bit further, okay? Starting off with the Gwenpool update, I believe that was sort of the beginning of really bad decisions. But at the time, even I said it wasn't that bad of a decision. The Gwenpool, Deadpool uniforms, where they attempted to monetize both uniforms for money. And eventually they buckled and they only offered one uniform for money, the Gwenpool uniform. And I have it, so you can call me a hypocrite or whatever. And then they made Deadpool's uniform available for crystals, the holiday Deadpool uniform. So why was that sort of the beginning? Well, I think that since that time, actually maybe a little bit earlier, but around that time, the devs have sort of switched gears, and they have attempted to exclusively or almost exclusively focus their efforts on making the game more new player focused, with more new player changes, and then with heavy aggressive monetization. So to recap, in the last 5 updates, which is a very short amount of time, we've seen massive reworks to the story, the S.H.I.E.L.D. Academy, and the tutorial. All 3 of those for a 5-year game within a 5-month time span is outrageous. If I, think about it, a 5-year-old game is reworking multiple pieces of content that are enjoyed almost exclusively by new players is strange, very strange. For it makes sense for a 1 or a 2, maybe even a 3-year game to do that, especially because the 3rd year anniversary of Marvel Future Fight coincided with Infinity War. But it's very weird for a 5-year game to do that, but they did. In addition to that, let's look at the last 5 months, the last 4 updates worth of monetization, new monetization. So we have the Gwenpool money uniform, and again, just one of these changes is not going to sound the alarm for me, which is why when I saw the Gwenpool uniform, I was like, okay, guys, obviously they're trying new monetization. Obviously, this is pretty aggressive. It's an expensive uniform, sure, but let's see if they do it again soon. And then if they keep doing it, then that's a problem. Well, guess what? We're at the problem. So they didn't do the exact same thing again to try to fool people, to try and, mix it up so that people wouldn't pay attention and sort of catch on. So let's see. In December, we get Gwenpool and Deadpool uniform. Okay, we get the Gwenpool uniform for money. In January, they introduce a brand new method of upgrading characters, Awakening Stones. And they try to monetize the Awakening Stones with the Awakening Stone sales, right? These ones over here, or did they take them out of these ones over here? But before the Mandalays, right? They were just trying to monetize the Awakening Crystals. So that's back-to-back updates with new monetization. Okay, what happens the next update? Okay, that wasn't good enough. Now we want to introduce Mandalay Gem Fragments, right? So we introduced new Awakening characters, then we introduced Mandalay Gem Fragments because the Awakening Crystals, they weren't selling well enough. Okay, that wasn't enough. Okay, very next update, let's hit them with the Future Pass and the new S.H.I.E.L.D. support. Do you see what I'm saying now? We've ramped up from 1 new method of monetization per update to 2 new methods of monetization per update. Where do you think that's going to go? If you think that Netmarble Monsters is just going to say, hey guys, let's stop. We've made enough money. When does a company ever say that? When does a company ever decide, you know what? This is working. Let's stop here. And now let's do all of the things that we want. Think of how much the players had to fight tooth and nail just to get the changes that we're about to see in this update. Now imagine if we hadn't begged for all of those things. We would have a much worse update than we have now. So the only saving grace here is that they listened to an extent over the last few months. The problem I have is they've only been listening to the bare minimum, and they've been only listening to the things that they can change very, very quickly. Rewards, introducing a very simplistic UI to allow you to sell these things in multiple batches, adding an autoplay button for Shadowland that may have been there all along, and they just had to click show or hide. We don't know, right? But many of these changes are extremely shallow. Adding a retry button, did you think that took weeks of development time? No. What about that survey we took 4 months ago to improve game modes? We said that we hated Alliance Conquest. We said that we hated, we said that we needed them to rework Shadowland stages. Timeline Battle was another one that was on the list. Where are those changes? If they need to make all this money, if they need to generate all this revenue with Gwenpool's uniform and with Awakening Crystals and then Mandalay Gem Fragments and now Future Pass and now Shield support, if all of this needs to be done, so where is that money going? And that is why I am sounding the alarm. That is why I am making these rant videos more and more frequently, because it's becoming more and more obvious, I guess. It's not obvious, it's just becoming more and more apparent to me that they're trying to delay the real changes for as long as possible. So they buckled. They had to buckle for the 5-year anniversary. They don't want to get too much negative attention with their 5-year anniversary, so they threw us a bunch of bones. And it's nice, it's good, but, they're making money and they're going to continue to make lots of money, and they want us to invest more money in the game. That is the message that they're sending us. We want you to spend more time playing, and we want you to spend more money when you play with things like a Future Pass, right? Battle Passes are intended to get players playing all the time, working for small rewards, working for small milestones. But where are the big changes that money is supposed to facilitate? They're nowhere. So I'm really worried about that, because the last time we got content that can even be remotely considered challenging was Galactus. So we are not that far off from a year since the last challenging piece of content. And the killer thing about that challenging piece of content, it's only available once a week. Think about that. They created a game mode that was good, but you can only play it once a week. And that was almost a year ago. So you're saying I'm going to have to wait another year to get another game mode that I can play once a week? They can't even update the Shadowland stages to give us new content. They can't even update Shadowland to give us new characters to fight against. So this is all, this has been sort of swirling in my head, and these worries and these concerns have been building for a long time, for months. And, it builds up from something small, but then it gets to be something greater. And you can go back and watch my old videos, and you can hear me echoing the same things. If they continue down this path, it's going to be bad for the game. If they continue to do this, then the players need to step up and step in and sort of, stop them. And I think we're sort of at a place where this is just going to keep happening, right? We're going to keep getting 1 or 2, maybe 3 quality of life changes. They're going to be very new player focused and very sort of young player focused. Young player means you've been playing the game for like less than 2 years, and that's it. And the game mode changes and the game mode reworks and the actual substantive content, really the meat and potatoes, are going to be delayed for as long as possible, and they're going to be put out in, as small an amount as possible. So yeah, I don't know what to tell you. I honestly don't. It blows my mind, personally, blows my mind that Squad Battle, a game mode that they introduced with the House of X update, this game mode gets reworked rewards after 1 month and becomes a reasonable source of, a material. But they've had Alliance Battle Extreme, Alliance Tournament, and Conquest, all 3 of those game modes there. They've been in the game for years, and they have never been updated, never had the rewards improved until now with ABX, and the rewards still do not equal the investment. Even they don't even equal 1/10 of the investment. In order to be competitive in any of those 3 game modes, you have to invest well over 20, 30, 50 times what you're getting as a reward for those game modes. So that just completely blows my mind. So that's why I didn't even put the ABX rewards in as something I liked about the update, because while some reward is better than no reward, eventually, after enough time, you sort of say, I've been doing this for years and this is all you guys think it's worth? If it's worth so little, why not delete the game mode? Right? So, seriously mixed feelings about the update. There's a lot of good stuff, and I'm glad that a lot of players are happy. But I do always, I do always intend to, and I will always try to look at the bigger picture and look at the long term of the game. And unfortunately, I do not see their way of handling the game as long-term viable. It will definitely bring in more profits in the short term for players that want to spend, but those players will not stay for very long, because sooner or later you're going to get to where I am, where you're questioning why you're spending money in the first place, because there's literally nothing to do, right? The Future Pass is basically a fancy version of Heroic Quest. You don't play Heroic Quest, I guess you're going to play the Battle Pass. I don't know, but all I'm saying is we kind of already had a Battle Pass. So all I'm saying is, you know, there's a lot of fluff, there's a lot of quality of life stuff, but then, you know, the trends of the game lately have left me very worried for the future of the game. So let me know what you guys think. Thank you so much for listening and watching, and I will see you in the live stream for the update. Take care.